Cyber Threat Brief for August 15, 2026. Microsoft Defender Zero-Day Shield Break, CVE 2026-69414, is unpatched and under active advisory, with Microsoft working on a fix. Mac OS Screen Sharing Vulnerability, CVE 2026-65400, is being actively exploited to deploy Monero miners on systems with port 5900 exposed. Gunra ransomware, linked to North Korean actors, is targeting critical infrastructure via FortiOS/40 proxy flaws. Shiny hunters dumped 1.6 million RingCentral records after a social engineering attack. The Trivy supply chain compromise affected 2,500-plus organizations, far beyond the initially blamed light LLM package. Here's the full breakdown of today's top security stories. Next section, Critical Alerts. Microsoft Defender Shield Break, Elevation of Privilege Zero-Day, CVE 2026-69414, Microsoft has acknowledged an elevation of privilege vulnerability in the Microsoft Malware Protection Engine, publicly referred to as Shield Break. No patch is available yet. Microsoft is working on a security update and will provide information when it is ready. Action: monitor MSRC updates for CVE 2026-69414 and apply the patch immediately when released. Review endpoint detection logs for unusual Defender engine behavior. Source: MSRC. Mac OS Screen Sharing Remote Code Execution under Active Exploitation, CVE 2026-65400. A state management flaw in Mac OS Screen Sharing, port 5900, allows unauthenticated remote attackers to gain root access. The Netherlands NCSC confirmed active exploitation across multiple systems with port 5900 exposed to the internet, with attackers deploying Monero cryptocurrency miners. Apple patched this in updates for Mac OS Tahoe, Sequoia, and Sonoma. CVSS, the Common Vulnerability Scoring System, 7.1. Action: apply the latest Mac OS security updates immediately. Verify screen sharing is disabled or firewalled from the internet. Audit any systems with port 5900 exposed. Check for unauthorized Monero mining processes. Source: Ars Technica. Gunra Ransomware Joint Advisory. FortiOS/40 Proxy Exploitation, CVE 2024-55591, CVE 2025-24472. US, UK, and South Korean agencies issued a joint advisory on Gunra ransomware, a Conti-derived RAS operation targeting public health, financial, and government sectors. Operators exploit CVE 2024-55591, EPSS, the Exploit Prediction Scoring System, 0.983, 100th percentile, CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, KEV, Known Exploited Vulnerabilities Catalog, and CVE 2025-24472, EPSS 0.36, 88th percentile, CISA KEV, in FortiOS/40 proxy for initial access. The group launched a RAS affiliate program, Golden Community, in January 2026 and has expanded to Linux. Strong links to North Korean state-backed actors have been identified. A cryptographic flaw in the Linux variant allows full file recovery. Action: patch FortiOS/40 proxy immediately if not already done for CVE 2024-55591 and CVE 2025-24472. Block Impacket Tool usage via EDR. Monitor for nighttime lateral movement and cloud exfiltration. If hit by the Linux variant, contact incident response for potential decryption. Source: Sentinel-1. Next section, Ransomware and Extortion. RingCentral Breach. 1.6 million records dumped by Shiny Hunters. Shiny Hunters compromised RingCentral via a social engineering campaign in July, exfiltrating 623 gigabytes of data. After RingCentral refused extortion demands, Shiny Hunters published a 280 gigabytes archive containing approximately 1.6 million unique email addresses, names, physical addresses, and phone numbers. The data has been added to Have I Been PWNed. RingCentral states core platform services were not impacted. Action: if your organization uses RingCentral, check Have I Been PWNed for exposed employee emails. Alert staff to targeted phishing using leaked contact details. Review RingCentral access controls and enable MFA, multi-factor authentication. Sources: Security Week, The Register. French Tax Authority, DG5P breach confirmed. France's Directorate General of Public Finances confirmed unauthorized access via a stolen identity in late June. A threat actor claims 600,000 victim records, though France's economy ministry reports 2 million records involved. The investigation is ongoing. Sources, data breaches, net the register. Next section, business and infrastructure threats. Trivy supply chain compromise affected 2,500 plus organizations. Corrected attribution. SOC Radar's analysis reveals that the supply chain compromise attributed to Light LLM actually originated with Aqua Security's Trivy scanner. The Shai-Hulud worm from threat actor team PCP propagated from Trivy downstream through automated builds. Of 2,188 identified victim organizations, 95% had data collected before the poisoned Light LLM packages even hit PyPI on March 24. The malware used a PTH file that Python automatically executed at interpreter startup, bypassing ignore scripts protections. 6 CI/CD platforms were affected: GitHub Actions, GitLab CI, Jenkins, Bitbucket, Circle CI, Buildkite. Over 1,000 organizations exposed JWT/auth tokens. Hundreds exposed AWS keys, private keys, and API secrets. Action. If your CI/CD pulled Trivy Docker images between March 1924, rotate all secrets, tokens, and API keys used in those pipelines. Audit PTH files in Python environments. Review commit histories for unauthorized modifications. Source, Security Week. Trezor confirms 13,000 customers exposed via logistics breach. Crypto hardware wallet maker, Trezor, confirmed a data breach at third-party logistics provider Shipmonk, exposed customer shipping details for approximately 14,000 customers. No wallet keys or cryptocurrency were at risk. Source, the register. LexisNexis investigating potential third hack. LexisNexis took its diligence, Metabase API, and Newsdesk services offline after detecting suspicious activity on servers managed by a third-party vendor. This would be the third data breach suffered by LexisNexis in recent years. Source, Security Week. Next section, Windows/Active Directory security. Microsoft Edge remote code execution via heap overflow, CVE 2026-72970, a heap-based buffer overflow in Microsoft Edge, Chromium-based, allows remote code execution over a network. Action. Update Edge to the latest version. Source, MSRC. Chromium use after free in Blink, CVE 2026-19560, use after free vulnerability in Blink addressed in Chromium. Edge inherits the fix. Action. Update Chrome and Edge browsers. Source, MSRC. On-prem SharePoint under zero-day attack. Microsoft patches failed to fully fix an on-premises SharePoint vulnerability, which is now being exploited as a zero-day. Action. Review SharePoint on-prem patch status and monitor for exploitation indicators. Apply any available mitigations from Microsoft. Source, the register. Next section, General Security News. NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, seeks public comment on NVD modernization with AI. NIST published an RFI on integrating AI into NVD operations. Vulnerability volumes have surged 72% year-over-year in 2026, 50,340 CVEs through mid-August, driven partly by AI-augmented research. Less than 1% of vulnerabilities from GitHub and vuln check sources are exploitable. NIST is prioritizing enrichment for CISA KEV entries, federal software, and critical software per EO 14028. Comments are open. Source, dark reading. Scottish government data breach via third-party assessment. Scotland's Crown Office and Procurator Fiscal Service disclosed that a third party managing a government data maturity assessment was breached, exposing approximately 300 employees' names, roles, and work emails. Other Scottish government agencies using the same assessment process may also be affected. Source, dark reading. NHS data breach via unencrypted pagers. The NHS admitted to routinely sending patient transplant data, including names, dates of birth, and organ types, over unencrypted pager networks. Source, data breaches. Net. The COM, cybercrime syndicate member sentenced a UK court, sentenced Justin Swaddle to 2 years for blackmail and child abuse tied to the COM, a decentralized online crime collective. The NCA identified 117 female victims, aged 13-17, across multiple countries. The COM operates factions covering sexual coercion, financial extortion, and corporate ransomware. Source, Sentinel-1. Decrypt ads, new free ad tech transparency tool, a new service at Decrypt ads. COM scrapes ads, TXT app ads, TXT buyers, JSON and sellers. JSON files to map ad ecosystem relationships. Use cases include tracking malvertising sources, identifying ad networks in adversarial nations, and detecting AI-generated spam sites. Source: Krebs on Security. Google Cloud Post-Quantum Cryptography Roadmap, 2029 target. Google Cloud published its PQC migration roadmap. MLKEM Hybrid Key Exchange is live on API endpoints. SNDL risk mitigation targeted for end of 2027. Signature integrity and identity protections targeted for end of 2028. Customers should inventory cryptographic assets, update tooling to PQC-capable libraries, and test against available quantum-safe APIs. Source: Security Week. Next section, Patch Priority. Mac OS all supported versions, patch CVE 2026-65400 immediately. Active exploitation confirmed, root access via screen sharing. Microsoft Edge/Chrome. Update for CVE 2026-72970, RCE heap overflow, and CVE 2026-19560, use after free and blink. FortiOS/40 proxy. Verify patches for CVE 2024-55591 and CVE 2025-24472. Gunner ransomware, North Korean linked, actively exploiting these. Microsoft Defender. Monitor for CVE 2026-69414, Shield Break, patch release. No fix available yet. SharePoint on-prem, previous patches incomplete, 0-day exploitation observed. Apply mitigations and monitor. Next section, Vulnerability Disclosures. CVE 2026-65400 Mac OS Screen Sharing, RCE State Management flaw in Mac OS screen sharing allows unauthenticated remote root access. CVSS 7.1, patched in Mac OS Tahoe, Sequoia, and Sonoma updates. Actively exploited for Monero mining. Source: Ars Technica. CVE 2026-69414 Microsoft Defender Shield Break, EOP elevation of privilege in Microsoft Malware Protection Engine. No patch available. Microsoft is developing a fix. Source: MSRC. CVE 2026-72970 Microsoft Edge RCE heap-based buffer overflow in Edge Chromium-based, enabling remote code execution. Source: MSRC. CVE 2026-19560 Chromium Blink use after free in Blink rendering engine. Patched in Chromium, inherited by Edge. Source: MSRC. Commercial refrigeration controller vulnerabilities. Clarity found 23 vulnerabilities in Copeland XWeb Pro controllers, chainable to root RCE, and multiple RCE flaws in Danfoss AKSM 800A controllers. Both vendors have released patches. Source: Security Week. That concludes today's cyber threat brief. From Carolina Clear Tech. Stay patched, stay vigilant.